So every week we put on a different, new, interesting flag set to kind of challenge the runners with new and interesting situations. This one is mystery. And here today to chat with me about all those things is NG Dave. Dave, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great tonight. Looking forward to to these two great runners putting on a show for us. Looks like we got ourselves an edge start, so can have some power out of the gate.
Oh yeah, that is a great start. And so we're working in mystery. And Dave, would you like to explain briefly what kind of that all entails?
Uh, sure thing. So our runners are given. No, our runners don't know what any of the flags are, with exception. They obviously know it's Wind Crystal because you can see it right on the screen here. We have a file that gives probabilities of various flags being on. So we could have, a restricted number of characters. The chess settings could be anywhere from shuffle up to wild. Shops, I think, are pro up to wild. But we'll be discovering that as we play the seed.
Yep. The main thing to know, so there's this YAML file, which is text file that defines all these different things that could be on or off. But the main takeaway really is that it's a way to configure free enterprise in a way that's random. So, any of these things could be chosen out of like a number of options. And the way to try to put your brain around what could happen in these seeds is that because like, okay, let's say treasures. The treasure setting, it could be wildish or it could be pro. So that, changes how good loot you get. So you have to take this mindset of, oh, I'm opening treasure boxes. How good is the quality of loot? And that kind of tells me about what to expect further in the seed. So we're really testing the problem-solving skills of the runners here, where they don't know what they're going to be put up against, but they can have a rough idea of maybe the odds of things coming up. So, reason I started with that question, by the way, is so we have this edge, and one of the flags that could be on is Neki, and I want to say it's slightly more likely to be on than off, and Neki will strongly determine how strong this, whatever, how strong this edge is to start. I mean, edge is going to be great no matter what, like, flame is pretty strong. But if he's got his vanilla gear set, so if Neki is off, then he'll be really, really just ready to go, don't need anything for him. Otherwise, he could start with, like, Charm Claw, it's not great, but, we're off.
And we'll see that our edge today is joined by Fusoya.
Well! Okay, so we've been given 50 bestiaries. It's one of our starting kits. Not the best, but we got one of the like basic starting kits because I see like life potions and star veils or whatnot, so that's great. We also have this Fusoya.
Yeah, Fu doesn't care as much about vanilla starting gear.
No, not at all. It's still good for him. Like, starting with the free Stork Robe and Lunar Staff is great. You can honestly, the best thing about vanilla gear for Fusoya is that you can run around early game and punch things with his Lunar Staff. It's strong enough. And also just funny.
It's vanilla Fu, so Fu's just got the entire spell list immediately.
It could be. So the odds of vanilla Fu are, well, they were very unlikely, but you see the 1900 hit points in that Fu. That means he's got his full set. This is what mystery can do. You have an expectation of what could happen in these seeds, and then suddenly, this.
So we see Afro looking for bosses, and Heart appears to be setting up the dupe glitch.
Yeah, so this is a vanilla glitch in the game where you kind of fuss with your inventory in a really specific way to sort of accidentally overflow. Or, well, intentionally, but for the game's purposes, it's like an accidental overflow of how many items, in this case boomerangs, that you have. So you have to move the items in a very specific way, and then if you've done it and the glitch is on, because it could be off, Hart will be able to see if he can equip those boomerangs or not. I don't believe I saw them.
We do see a boss, one of our objectives in the waterfall already.
Yeah, Vitafro, or I believe we can call him Vic, is taking the idea that Fusoya is so powerful, right? Especially Vanilla Fu, that you can just go. Just go. Those dolls stand no chance to Quake. That's an objective boss. Waterfall's a great start. Heart, in the meanwhile, he's checking for the free key item. That's also a great start. This one I don't remember how likely this is on or off, but I'm going to assume that there's some chance of either or, so this is a very popular check. It might always be on too, I'm not sure on that one, but in Mystery you tend to see this is a check you want to make, and we get a Luca key.
Right, it's good to know in Mystery if you... Oh, wow!
No.
Asuka, this is Pig Puff, not 99%ers.
So we find Fusoya number 2. Now dupes might be off, so I'm not actually sure. I think it's more likely you can have dupe characters than not.
Well,
we'll get a moment. I think we're gonna save here. Okay, so there's no dupes. We only have the one Fusoya.
Okay, so we're not gonna have Fu, and we're not gonna have Fu's brother Fu, and their other brother Fu.
You've heard of Fu and friends. How about Fu and Fu and Fu and Fu and friend? But anyways, we see on the right we're doing an Atlion check, and meanwhile, Heart is doing some shopping. Very common after finding that free key item. You've got access to 2 separate item shops, the armor and weapon shop. Gets a good sense of what the shop setting is. I missed what was in the shops. Did you catch it, Dave?
I didn't catch it, unfortunately.
Okay, maybe chat will save us, but depending on what's in those shops, you can get a really good sense immediately of what the shop setting is.
Yeah, usually the first armor shop is a good good enough indication.
Alt Gauntlet is at the Mist Cave spot. Don't have to worry about that one. Okay, go ahead. And you can get underground. That's a magma key out of Outline. There's a lot of seed open to us suddenly.
Yeah, there is. And you got a few checks you can make underground.
There were purchasable items in the shop. Yes. Thank you, chat. Okay, free characters are on. We see Yang is in the waterfall. So we know Yang is in the seed. Probably not someone we really care about. Could be a good anchor, actually, if Sea Hero is off, and it's most likely off.
This is looking... Well, we know that's Water Hag.
That's Water Hag at Mount Hobbs. Vic has found that. And a cane. Pretty okay with a cane here.
I'd fight a Water Hag for a cane.
Can there be no free bosses? I don't remember. And we're gonna find out. There's a chance in the YAML, if it's set, that no free bosses is on, which means that you actually have to kill Water Hag.
It's not in the YAML, so no.
Yeah, so then it would be off. Okay, that's good. That's good, because no free bosses can be very, very, very spooky. Dark Knight Cecil, who is dark waving you for thousands of damage, and you need to kill him through damage. A little spooky, but don't have to worry about that here.
Nothing. Art Gamer, finding the dolls in the waterfall. Going to get 2 objectives from that.
Yeah,
and now we are on a pure boss hunt.
Yeah, gonna take them out with a Quake. And then, yeah, it's... Yeah, it sure is. It's 3 bosses, and wow, this could... There's a chance that this is like the jettiest of jet seeds, right?
There's a chance of that. That looks like standard shops to me. Vampires are... The highest thing there is a tier 4.
Yeah, vampires are in here. It's very unlikely to be wild in the YAML anyways, based on the numbers. So we do see... I would agree with that. It's as standard.
It's 10% chance, not completely unreasonable.
For wild, I think it was 5%. Either way, I mean, 5%, I mean, that's... It certainly could roll on.
Yeah, as we remember from our last tournament, Trigger doesn't really care what you think about probability.
Yeah, no, not at all. Fu is unlikely, and how many Fu seeds did we see?
I think we see like 3 or 4 in a row.
Yeah, probably. right, meanwhile, Vixing a Pale Dim over on the Fabul side here.
And Fusoya making quick work of it with a nuke.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of nuking in our future. A lot of nuking!
And to anyone who plays one of our ladder flag sets, Fuwario, this would look very, very familiar.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, Fuwario starts you with a vanilla Fu. So flags we know that are true. The one thing we know truly is on is vanilla Fusoya, which is not a likely scenario, but here we are. Not only is vanilla Fusoya on, we started with Edge and Fusoya.
So probably relaxed characters or standard, and Cecil got restricted.
Yeah, we also know free characters are on. We see the two pick up, which is Palom and Porum? Is that what I just saw? Mystidia?
Looked like it.
Yeah,
Were they in a vanilla order?
It's vanilla or vanilla adjacent. Because depending on the order of them, right? If we want to be like really pedantic.
These are 100% standard shops.
Yeah, vampires could not be on if it's standard, right? In the Overworld shop, so it should be standard.
Right, vampires are 4, so standard they'd be on. I don't believe pro can be on.
Yeah. Alright, we got that Luca key for Vic as well. Now, the thing about this situation that's, I think, so interesting, you have Vanilla Fusoya, you have underground access already, and Heart, he's about to get it because it's an Antlion cave. You're looking for Darkness Crystal and bosses. Kind of feels like you could go practically anywhere. Where do you think our runners are going to want to focus?
It looks like they're just we're still on boss hunt, so I think anywhere there's a lot of bosses is a good place to go. So I think we're still going to see a full clear of the overworld just to get all the quick ones out of the way.
Yep, quick bosses out of the way makes sense. Ordeals. Of course, having 3 bosses will be a good check for this. Dwarf Castle has 2 bosses, a good place to check. And Warp Glitch has a 50% chance to be on in Dwarf Castle, and you've got a Fusoya who could warp. So I think that's another tempting one. Just the interesting thing about Fusoya is that you have so much power that you could, if you wanted to, you could go out of order here.
You very well could. That's very true.
Baron Inn makes a lot of sense. This is 2 bosses, which I don't think neither are what we're looking for, but it's still a quick check for us. I mean, a lot of things are going to be a quick check. But my point here is that, like, a lot of what's interesting and challenging about Free Enterprise can be taking a low amount of power and puzzle solving your way through the seed. Instead, in this seed, Zeus Gauntlets, pretty decent reward. Not a key item though. But we're taking power overwhelming, like really extreme power overwhelming, and how do we optimize it to try to win as fast as possible? That's also an interesting problem.
It's a very different element of puzzle solving in the game.
Yes. And depending on the types of flag sets our runners like to play, I know our first Pink Puff League flag set was that Supermarket Sweep, which sets you up with all that power from wild shops. So depending on how often our runners, these 2 and everyone else who's in the race that isn't on Restream, it's going to depend on how comfortable they are with power overwhelming versus other situations. But that's what's great about both Mystery and the Pink Puff League in general, is that both of them put you up against a wide variety of challenges.
Very true. It's one of the more fun things about playing Mystery, just figuring things out on the fly.
Yep, Hart is doing a little bit more shopping, checking the Agart shop here, but both our runners are basically at Agart, ready to throw that key down the well. Vitafro has already done so. I mean, he's likely to head underground, which is interesting. I don't think we've done everything. Okay, we've just thrown the key down the well. We're going to finish our overworld checks, though. Vitafro is heading over towards Mount Ordeals. Very reasonable check. We're boss hunting here. There are 3 bosses. Makes a lot of sense. This is also going to tell us if that I think it's like a 1 out of 6 chance, or maybe that's 1 out of 7 if you add them, of Sea Hero being on, so there is a chance that Sea Hero is on. And you get to know that here because if it is in the mirror room, Edge will go in there solo.
There are other ways. There are other ways to test for Sea Hero. I don't believe Afro can do that yet.
Yeah, there are tricky ways to test for Sea Hero. It's really about trying to see. Agility is black magic in this game, but when you have Sea Hero, so the agility anchor becomes your hero, and the agility anchor very briefly means that all the how fast everyone acts is anchored around usually the center character. It's just how this game ended up being implemented in the early 90s, which has really weird and interesting implications in a randomizer, right?
Yep.
And if Edge is the anchor, Edge is very fast. You will end up with, you can end up with kind of just unexpected turn orders if you're trying to anchor with a very slow character. Like if we were anchored with Rydia, for instance, and let's say we had Fusoya up front, so they're in position 4 and 5, and suddenly Fusoya went next instead of the person above Fusoya, which is slot 2 you would expect. That would tell you right away that you're probably in Sea Hero because the party order becomes unexpected.
My other thinking, and Goober pointed out in chat, with 3 characters on, it's easy enough to get 6 total characters. You could just try to discard your starter.
Yeah, also very true. That is. I've actually never. Have I ever? Yeah, no, I don't know. I've utilized that much. That makes a lot of sense. You can try to get rid of Edge, and if the game doesn't let you, then that's another way of knowing. And you don't have to confirm it. Like you could just try it, and the game will ask. So yeah, that's a good way to also tell if it's Sea Hero.
If the box pops up, it's not Sea Hero. If the game buzzes at you, it is.
Yep. Yeah, so Heart is underground now. Like I said about this going a bit out of order thing. Gonna check our Feymarch bosses. Meanwhile, Afro here is finding a Dark Elf in the back attack spot. I just missed. Heart reset out of that so fast.
It was Queen spot is Ruby, and King spot is a flavor of Mylon.
Okay. And then our next question becomes, how likely is K Summon on?
We've seen one Zonk so far, which doesn't guarantee anything because Pass could just not be a key item.
Okay, so this is a 10 chance on, 5 chance off. I'm just going to say twice as likely to be on than off, so...
It's very likely.
Yeah, it's likely. Okay, Coffins and Tomra, that's good to see. Sirens might be in the shop somewhere. Coffins are also just a good purchase.
Goober, I believe Quarter Leg was Baronin 2.
Yes. Yes, elements were at Baronin 2.
Although we didn't get to see any leg because the Mylon form ate a nuke.
Considering some of the pretty solid weaponry out of Tomra here, declines. Is this a job dwarf check? I mean, it's looting for sure, but come on, do it. Do it.
Hart should be glad he did not buy that full moon.
Pathologist.
There was a free one just sitting in job dwarf's room.
So is a pathologist a master of paths?
I believe so.
They're really paving the way, right?
They are. It's gonna. They're doing a little bit of trailblazing.
I don't know, it's a difficult road ahead for our runners, but I think they can manage. Speaking of managing, we know that it's not Sea Hero, so that's good. We also have the hook out of Ordeals, which is 2 more boss checks actually out of the hook route, even though you don't need to do the hook route at all. So that one's a little awkward.
And some orbs for... You have to fight some orbs for that hook.
You know what doesn't care about orbs?
Exactly that.
Yeah. See those orbs that look like they're floating, by the way? How they, like, wobble up and down? No. 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 They're bouncing, I promise. They're not, in fact, floating.
Hey, we found the sirens.
Does that make sense, by the way? No. But that's kind of just this game, sometimes. Alright, Sirens in Dwarf Castle.
Yeah, a lot of the stranger things you see in this game, you just shrug, accept it, move on.
Yeah, there are a collection of dragons, like Bahamut and Demist, that are not actually dragons. Wyvern, who is literally Dark Bahamut in the original translation, is a dragon. But the King of Dragons, not a dragon.
It makes sense to someone.
Sure. All right, 2 boss checks here and a character check. All right, King Queen Eblin.
That's about as free as it gets here.
Yeah, and it's in a good spot, honestly. Though, okay, Vanilla Fusoya, we've got so much power, but this first spot, the doll spot, we like to call this mini Ogopogo because it punch, it cast, and you combine all the health of all the dolls here. So it also has a big pile of health for the point in the game that you're doing this. But it's free.
We do get confirmation of another flag on Afro's side. Vanilla Traps is off.
Okay, that's good to know. And checking the traps, pretty reasonable. Though, traps have a 1 out of 100 chance of being on. So this is one of those, when you play Mystery, that you go, well, it's pretty unlikely to be on, so I probably won't gamble on it. But checking a couple chests on the way up here, we'll see how much he wants to focus on this. But there's a chance of just getting good loot. We got a Murasame out of that first trap, not bad.
Honestly, given the loot I've been seeing, I think we're on T-Pro.
Is that Edge Backroad?
Yes.
Oh, probably, Edge, and doesn't have a strong weapon, maybe.
Yes, Edge is guaranteed Backroad. He started with a boomerang.
Well, Backroad glitch can be off in this YAML.
Oh.
That's something for runners to consider as well.
Very good point. It's a 90% on, so yeah, if Backroad glitch is on, Edge is Backroad. Now that damage was way too consistent to not be Backroad.
Just another Porum, and Octomam, who is swimming in crystal flooring right now. I just love the various places Octomam shows up. Just really cracks me up.
Now, what can't Octomam swim in? We see crystal flooring, we see rocks, we see moon stuff.
Yeah. Now, one thing about approaching this flag set, I would say, that's kind of interesting is that so the YAML itself is rather large, and there are a lot of things configured within it. You can, as a flag set designer, you can make that very small, like the number of things that can change, or very large. But we know that, so Asuka's crafted this very well for the pink puffs, so we know that most of the things, and kind of like she was saying in chat here, most of the settings are going to be pretty kind to our runners. There are a couple cases that might not be so great, but so something to think about is like, okay, the options might be kind of overwhelming. A warp glitch off, by the way. So the options might be kind of overwhelming of what could or could not be on, but you could take the approach of like, I'm not going to worry too much about it besides a couple critical things and just get through the seed.
Right, and even if the file looks intimidatingly large, a lot of the stuff in the first section, which is objectives, you know what it is as soon as you open the seed.
Yeah, objectives are known up front. The number of objectives you need to complete, we could talk about that for a second. 4 objectives is like a 1-ish% chance, or maybe like a 2-ish% chance. The exact number, not exactly sure, but it's unlikely. So the number that you need to complete, so 4 to get the crystal. 5 is 10 times as likely, and then but we're most likely to have to do all the objectives. So that's something that comes up often in Mystery, of like, how many of these do I need to do? Do I gamble that maybe we only need 5 instead of 6? Evil Wall manning the cannon room. That's an interesting one. How do you suppose? You know what? I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna ask questions about.
It's got hands.
How this works. Got hands like locked and well, no, I guess in later games that have an evil wall, the hands come out.
Or we could just have it be 12's evil wall with all the all the legs.
There's some creepy evil walls throughout the years in Final Fantasy games.
We see Hart diving down Luca. We did see the warp glitches off, so there will be a key item down here.
A key item and a boss chuck. Makes a lot of sense to me, and we've got warp on Fusoya, and we know it's not Sea Hero, though Hart might not exactly know, but it's pretty reliably true that we don't have Sea Hero. So this spot's very fast, so Sea Hero and this spot can be a little tricky, but yeah, it's very doable. Warp's pretty quick. It's like a minute to run down and check it, so it makes a lot of sense to me.
This will give us 2 pieces of information about boss locations.
Okay, Kainatsu is at the top of tower, and that's Golbez. That's the Ruby spot, yes?
Yep. So good news for our runners, bad news for fans of comedy everywhere. We're never fighting that Golbez.
Yeah, no. We might have to fight the King-Queen spot. That could be one of our required bosses, but won't have to fully get through the hook route. So, Turtle here could be a little gross, by the way, but I think one nuke is going to make sure that that's not a problem, just for the low health in this party.
Right, this spot is just short of 20k, I believe, HP.
Yeah, and then the Kanatsu's wave attack is based on his current hit points.
Kane and Rose are not walking this one off.
So, Rat Tail out of Luca. That's an awkward one. I think Hart has to walk this one out.
You do.
But Hart doesn't know where that hook is, which is behind Ordeals. Which, I mean, I think he's gonna... Oh, Demas!
You're walking this out anyway, because that's an objective.
Well, now you're walking this out. This is required. Okay, so Demas is one of our objectives. By the way, see how fast that Demas is punching? So we're anchored with Edge in the middle right now, and she is just... Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah. What is the speed at this spot again?
Oh, it's like 40 something, I want to say. And characters at this level tend to have like... Edge probably has 20, like low 20s agility, if that. Actually, no, probably low 20s. I think he starts with a pretty healthy amount.
I think it's 23.
No, it's the 60s. This starts in the 60s. Yeah. This is very fast. This spot is meant for Evil Wall to advance very quickly, punch you very quickly, and really make you terrified that it is going to crush the party. But instead, we get a Demas who, like, she's got somewhere to be, man. Like... The good news here is that this fight is very, very doable with that Fusoya. It's just going to take a moment.
I might need to restore Fu's magic at some point.
Yep. And I think Hart checked for that MP glitch, or maybe went in the inventory to start it. I don't know if he finished that check. MP glitch could be very useful for Fu, gives you infinite MP, something you can check right in the magic menu.
That's a very good point. I don't know if I saw either of our runners check MP glitch.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, if we have the restorables for all the nukes that we need, and this is really just going to need, what, like 5-ish nukes? It's got 20,000 health?
It's less than 20, so 4 to 5 and you should be out.
Yeah, it depends how nuke roll, how Fu rolls with this nuke. Like 6,000 is pretty good. This, 5, 10, 15.
Good call on the
Yeah, this is the point where we're out of MP for nuke, though.
And I think one of those nukes fizzled.
Yeah, Heart's... Oh, that's true. Yeah, one did fizzle. So Heart's banking that Demas is pretty low here.
Meanwhile, we have Afro putting the turtle in the microwave as well.
Yeah, we see Hart taking a moment. He needs to think. He's gonna run out of MP after this, looking for restoratives. Probably low on... Yeah, okay, yeah, Demist is done. But I bet that spooked him for just a moment. Or at least put him into like, okay, I have to kind of problem solve this. Yeah, that's also very true. You could Psych Paladin. Psych is like... Psych is so slow to cast for whatever reason. It's not a very well-balanced spell. So that one's a little kind of spooky to cast. If you have a Lilith Rod or the item, is it just called Psych? The item that does it? That's instant. That's a little bit more reliable.
Yeah, the Psych spell's delay is basically 1 eternity.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the level of, I think, like, tier 3 elementals, if not worse.
Oh, Hart.
Succubus, thank you. I just couldn't think of the name of it. The Succubus item.
Hart was actually out of MP on Fu, so couldn't warp to the first floor.
Good to realize that taking a cabin, very, very efficient way to get that MP back, and then warp on out of here. Alright, so Afro's running down. Gonna get the tower key check done. Might guide him a little bit, but otherwise, I want to say our runners are probably going to start crossing their paths here, right? They went in 2 different directions.
I could see Hart going up tower next, maybe Afro getting dwarf.
Same. Your underground efficient is to kind of get all this stuff down here. Okay, or we get darkness. And that puts a really, really interesting question into Fix's hands here. We just need bosses. Where do you go?
You still gotta be thinking about key item checks in this situation, I think.
You do.
Because we were at the beginning of the seed, a Lunar Sparkle gave us our starting key item, and there are 2 Sparkle bosses.
Okay, that's a good point. That's a good one we didn't bring up, or at least I didn't remember bringing it up. A Sparkle at the Beigen spot means that it could be Plague or D-Lunars. 2 out of 6 chance of that. Have we seen any Sparkle bosses?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. That's still a 1 in 3, right? That we need that Baron key? At least to get access to that boss. We probably need to do all the objectives. That's another thing to think about. Oh, we saw Paladin. Yeah, we saw Paladin. Thank you.
We've got 4 Lunar Sparkles left. We got Plague D-Lunars, Wyvern, and Ogopogo left.
Right. So that's a 50... No, it's like a little bit worse than a 50-50.
It's exactly 50-50, 2 out of 4.
Oh, we've seen 2 of them? Paladin and what?
There's only 5 Lunar Sparkles.
I thought there were 6. Oh, I guess I'm thinking 5 and then the Bahamut, right? Okay. Yeah, so...
You might be counting the number of checks on the moon.
Yeah, maybe.
So, I think that Baron key's got to be looming in our runner's mind as well.
Yeah, I think so too. And we are crossing paths here, so Hart and Vitaf are just going to kind of do checks that we've seen. Interesting point for on the right here. So we've picked up a couple of Sirens. I think he's thinking we don't need so many of them, but Sirens are, of course, a way to just get experience. So they're a good accelerant to grab a few of them, so I don't mind that. But while we have this moment, I'd like to shout out the Restring crew. You, of course, have me and Dave doing the talking, like, you know us. But I think the more important people, because this Restring just wouldn't happen without them, we have Asuka doing the actual restreaming, so the reason you can see this with your eyeballs, or maybe hear it, I suppose, is through Asuka's restreaming. And then we've got S-Grunt doing the tracking. So big shout out to them.
Yeah. And of course
to Dave.
And of course a shout out to you as well, Solaris, and our runners, VT Afro and HardGamer26. We wouldn't have a show without them.
No, certainly wouldn't. We love our pink puffs. This is a league that we put on. It really ends up being like twice a year, I want to say. Like this club is going pretty frequently, and it is a great way to get your feet wet with the randomizer in a somewhat structured way that, like, you know, the difficulty is going to increase week by week, but it's not, it's always going to be approachable. And it's just, the Pink Puff League is really great. There's always a great community around it of either current Pink Puffs or people who have graduated or other people in the community who just hang out that just want to help. You know, we love our newer runners. And if you were interested, you've been watching the randomizer and you want to play, that's a great place to start. I recommend it. Join our Discord and kind of check it out.
Yeah, there's been... Honestly, it was fun running in it the first season.
Oh, that's right.
And
You were in it. Tell us the things.
Yeah, it was fun running in it. Just, again, everyone in it's friendly. And you know, a lot of people learned a lot of things from it. I learned that Vanilla Demus is the thing you need to watch out for when freak items are off the table.
Oh no, that sounds like a story.
Lunar Tour round 1. Last location darkness because of that.
Ooh, spooky.
But aside from that, we've had some people who started off as Pink Puffs make deep runs in tournaments. In fact, we've had a few tournament champions come out of the Pink Puff League.
Yes, we have. Have to talk about Rybon briefly for a moment, right? This is a tournament champion who did start as a Pink Puff. Won his season of Pink Puff, well, was it 2 maybe? Or 3? Regardless, very, very, very strong runner. Like, I think Pink Puff, you can join it with 2 different goals, and I think it facilitates either really well. It could either just be joining the community and just wanting to learn the rando, not worried too much about competing, right? Or the other is to just, like, as a starting point to really get you to learn, like, how to deep dive, play competitively. And I just think we've seen really good success for both of those cases.
And it wasn't, I believe, was it Kyrios that won the Blue Moon tournament?
Yeah, that's right. Our recent Blue Moon champion, Kyrios. Alright, so Hart is picking up his Darkness Crystal, so this is the end, at least for him, of the sort of crossover point, where the runners is kind of crossing over each other's checks, so this is going to be new. I don't think Sheila 1 has been done, so Hart is going to set up, or going to do Sheila 1, right? So we'll talk to Yang and then go back up to Sheila, and then I would say a good idea would be Ordeals, just because it's boss checks into stuff with darkness.
If Hart goes up Ordeals, I think we're going to see a Rat Tail turn and follow immediately afterwards.
Yeah, that's true. So Rat Tail, so he doesn't know that at the moment, but yeah, Ordeals has the hook. That would be a Rat Tail turn in. And then, because we're in proximity, you could check the King Queen boss spot. That would be a gamble. It takes a good amount of time to get down there. But if you hit, like, oh boy.
And actually, we're going to find out if that 1% chance to require 4 hit. Because this will be Hart's fourth objective.
This is actually the smartest play to make. Raise the whale right now. Could just give you the crystal.
No, in about 30 seconds, well, the moment of truth, is this a turbojet?
And if it is turbojet, what do you do with this party? How do you plan to kill Zeromus?
There's sirens underground.
There are sirens underground. Another way to go, which is trickier, and Puffs in the past, I want to say have been challenged on this. You can do a strategy, a low-level strategy, we call it Foon Friends, where Fusoya can largely carry you through Zeromus through reflected damage nukes, and you have other party members who are just kind of there to help.
Right.
It's a tricky strategy to execute. You have to practice it, but it is also a way through. But yeah, sirens are known where they are, so I think that makes a lot of sense. But okay, not required for.
Going along with the idea of doing Fu and Friends here, we do have a few very good darts for Edge that could speed things along. Palom could contribute with Virus.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a pretty strong party for that kind of strategy, really. I mean, at least in the Palom and the Edge. You don't tend to get too much more than that, I would say, to accelerate your damage, besides maybe multiple duplicate characters, but that's off in this seed.
Oh, I hadn't realized Heart had faded for Wool this whole time.
Yeah. So Heart went underground really early. Going back to what I was saying earlier about because you had Vanilla Fu and Magma right away, you could choose to diverge how you do typical routing. So that's what Heart has done here. And I mean, it's really kind of paying out for him, right?
Yeah, it is.
I'd say Heart is a little bit ahead. Not a lot, but like a little bit. Maybe a minute or two.
I believe Heart is still ahead the entire Seal Cave dive.
I guess it's a little hard to say because Vitafra here is ahead the Ordeals check. I guess we'll see how it lines up. It's pretty close either way, right? Ooh, package, right. They have
I would say, yeah, runners are close.
I mean, package is another boss, Jack. Technically.
Nope.
I don't think they're going to do it. Alright, Sheila says, take this for Yang. It is the Earth Crystal.
That's the more boss checks.
Yeah, that's a great one. More boss checks, and it's got a treasury.
And more importantly, for Heart side, that's number 10.
Yeah, 10 is great. 10 key items means double experience. One of our flags in this randomizer, and pretty good for leveling your party. Is there a chance that can be off? I will go look.
No, it can't. I looked.
Okay, great. I really like that, knowing that certain things are reliably on or off, especially for, playing as a pink puff. So you know that experience boost is always available to you.
Does look like we're getting a treasury rating.
Yeah, so we're going to play one of our favorite games, chat.
Rate that treasury!
This is a T stand. This is T standard, 100%.
That's a very T standard looking set of items, meaning it's unweighted, just pure garbage.
Yeah, T standard hit.
Yeah, T standard ends up being kind of garbage because there are a lot of items in Final Fantasy IV that aren't very good, and they tend to outweigh. They tend to slightly outweigh. The good items.
Yeah, that was either T standard or a super low rolling pro.
Right. Also, I made that call out to chat. Also to YouTube. Hi, YouTube. I know you all very actively watch our races. We always appreciate you.
So, since we know it's standard, that means these traps are completely unweighted.
Yeah, traps are unweighted between tier 5 to 8. That also tends to lean towards not very good. The tier 5 pool is just a lot more of it. But Silver Apple. It's fine. 50 hit points. I don't mind the cheeky check. The box is right there. It took like, what?
Yeah.
10, 15 seconds to kill that thing.
And I don't mind tagging the first two to try to hit it just because.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not really out of the way. Like, usually if I do that and I don't find it, I'm not checking these 4. How about you?
Same. And I would say if you're trying to hyper optimize your time with a party that's already very strong, it is a pretty decent idea to not even to just not check any chests at all. But given the time loss, it's still defensible, right? So it makes sense to me. Especially because the gear on our party is maybe not the greatest, especially for Heart. I mean, we've got a geared out Fusoya here, but Heart doesn't have that Murasame. Does want to find damage elsewhere, though that Palom is available if we, devote all our time to those sirens.
More vanilla. I think with the XP we found already, you'd need, what, like 11, 12 sirens to get the nuke?
I want to say it's 10 for Palom and 12 for Iridio. I believe that's the number. Possibly even a little bit less, because Palom's already got some experience. It's still not that many, I mean, all told. Are able to take advantage that this spot is so slow and Edge is pretty fast that the Naga Sisters didn't even get to put up a wall. Feels good to be able to directly target the
it does.
With the spell. Because that's usually a bad time.
I have certainly never bounced a nuke off the Center Sister. How about you?
No, never. No, certainly never done that. So we know a Sid is in the seed now. Probably not interested, though. Heart does not have really a dedicated anchor at the moment. You could take a Sid if you've got a Dwarf Axe. It's pretty slow.
I did see both our runners loot a Dwarf Axe in Dwarf Castle, conveniently enough.
Or you could just take a Tella. Also pretty good anchor.
Oh, Dwarf Axe Sid, 4 agility anchor. Seems pretty good.
Yeah, and actually is a better anchor for Fusoya specifically because Tella as an anchor is not quite enough to make Fusoya as fast as possible.
I agree 100% with what Hart just did.
Yep, same. Gonna put on that Dwarf Axe and stick him in the middle probably now because maybe not. Actually, we're pretty. Yeah, this spot tends to be kind of fast, but it's actually not outrageously fast. I don't think.
That's
so yeah, we'll
20s,
just gear
I
up
think.
Yeah, and Edge is about there, so we'll just gear up and get ready to go. Okay, we are gonna put Sid in the mid. Sid in the mid. Sid in the middle.
What's about Sid in mid?
Shout out to Final Fantasy V. Chat's going off. A wild floor inspector appears. A restreamer asks, is Sid's beard an area rug? No, but Fusoya's beard is. Sorry, Fusoya's hair.
Just the whole glorious mane Fusoya's got going on.
Yeah. Also, hi Odin, bye Odin. Not one of our required bosses in either spot here, so unless this gives us a key item that we need, Zot is a Zonk.
We might, depending on what this is, we might just see the moon dive start now.
Yeah, also I'm thinking Heart is just slightly behind. Vitafro is up in entire ordeals. But it's still very close. They've otherwise done each other's checks here. Ooh, Baron Key. Okay.
Yeah, you have to check that immediately.
That's gonna happen. So Baigen has... So a reminder for folks, Baigen has a Sparkle at that boss spot, and we are looking for Plague or D-Lunars, and we've already seen Paledem. So we've got a 50-50 here of that being one of our required bosses. Definitely gonna check it. It's also just super convenient. We get dropped off right here. And okay, Heart hasn't done Baronin either.
And we do know that VTR was not done Sealed Cave yet, which has the demist.
Yeah, tricky to keep in track everything that's going on here. Yeah, and the Luca is a very defensible fade, by the way. It doesn't take that long to get down there to check it, but it's awkward because if you get a key item you kind of might want, like a rat tail, which we know is there, you kind of get incentivized to want to keep it. Of course, we know D-Mist is there. It's a required boss. But as a runner, if I'm thinking about where I want to go to just hit my bosses, I could gamble that I don't need Luca, and it's pretty reasonable. So he might not go there.
Agreed. Especially with that Darkness Crystal just burning a hole in your pocket.
Yeah, Darkness represents 6 bosses on the moon and then 2 on the giant. Like,
yeah, if you're looking for 2, it's reasonable to just, go straight to the moon.
Yeah, and if that's the case, that would put Heart very much in the driver's seat here.
That's the tricky gambling thing with boss hunts that we saw throughout the entirety of our last tournament.
It is. It's a tricky thing with boss hunts, and I would say it's the tricky thing with the randomizer in general. Part of any randomizer, any game with random chance, really. I mean, I can go off on a tangent. I'll try not to go deep. It's just that when you're playing with random chance and you're trying to win, there is very much a strategy around how much do you do informed gambling. How much do you say, the odds are in my favor if I do or don't do this thing, even though it might fail? That's always going to show up in the randomizer, and I think it's the mark of a very strong runner to manage that in the way that suits, their playstyle.
And it's not just that, it's how much do I want to take a more, shall we say, wild gamble and a chance to just spike a big hit.
Yeah, I mean, which is part of managing the kind of risk that you like to take. There is a way to play that you take a lot of risks, where you can say over time, the big risks that you take are going to be in your favor instead of against your favor over the long term. In poker terms, I want to say that's called EV positive, and definitely in Magic terms, just where I'm more familiar with that. The expected value is greater than less if I take, these certain gambles. That's a way to think about it. Or another way to think about playing these seeds is I want to take the least number of gambles possible, because I also know that leads me towards more outcomes where, I hit instead of don't hit. But I think either strategy is, pretty viable. So really just depends on where you want to go, how you want to take it, and how risky you want to be. All right, what's at the bagging spot?
Show us Ogopogo.
Wyvern.
Oh, see, I was trying to be nice to our runners and not call Wyvern.
Yeah. So Heart paused just the briefest of moments. Very reasonable. I think we're about to see a repeat here. Yeah, Vic also taking a pause there. You can't take that pause against Wyvern. It is too fast. It's also not a required boss, so I don't blame Heart for... So here's that gamble. Heart says, I don't think it's either of the 2 bosses here. I'm just going to leave. Where,
looks like,
yeah, go ahead.
Looks like neither of our runners took a save down there before going in.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. You're getting late in the seed. You're feeling strong. Wyvern's always looming, though. And Wyvern is the great boss that says, yeah, you probably want to save somewhat frequently. Golbez also can be that kind of boss, because you just never know when they're going to show up in a spot that really wants to ruin your day.
I will fully admit to taking more cautious safety saves if I don't have eyes on both of them yet.
Well, and it's reasonable not to save, right? I mean, you literally save time by not stepping into that save room. And you know, how do you manage how much time you try to save versus the risk that, those decisions offer? It's the same kind of thing of what I was just talking about.
Exactly. It's, again, risk mitigation. You have to kind of go out of your way, go through a screen transition, go through another screen transition to save.
Yeah, so we love to say always be saving, and it's very true, but then also when you're trying to push, so Vita Afro's come back and probably turned the battle speed all the way up to 6.
We are on Wyvern Standard Time.
Yeah, so this is Wyvern Standard Time. My advice with this boss, do not ever play with those values for the battle speed. Just go to 6. It's not worth doing anything else. You get all the time in the world, it's gonna blarg, and then it's just gonna die. And we're done. Any other battle speed, like, you're pretty likely to get a veil off, but you might not get 2 veils off and the boss is not dead. The major problem becomes that Wyvern just like nukes constantly and is killing people, and you really start to lose tempo because like the more people that are alive, right, the more likely that you can start life potioning people and just kind of keep the tempo of the battle going. So I like just seeing the battle speed 6. Get it done.
Yeah, because take the small time hit there, make sure you get the kill, because the slowest thing you can do is wipe and have to walk that path through Baron again.
And we see Cecil has just said, "Yeah, I'm just gonna take the throne." I always love this boss here. It's just got great flavor. Like, this is the alternate universe that I'm here for.
And we see a little bit of inventory management going on while DKC is doing some waves.
Yeah, might as well. You get all this time while you get this monologue about justice.
And the good news is I don't believe our runners had to deal with potential 4th wave.
No. Yeah, so we talked about that earlier, right? The no free bosses flag. At this spot, like, you know, Dark Wave's not dealing all that much damage, so it would be okay, but DKC can be at some pretty gross places where you have to chew through all his hit points.
That Edward's interesting.
There's our favorite spoon word. We have a spoon, we have an Ed.
And I don't know if either runners checked to see if the spoon's equipable.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So it would show the little Eddie icon, right, when you hit select on the spoon. Which is a randomizer feature, by the way. You normally can't do that, but in our randomizer, you can hit select on an item in your inventory and get information about it, including who can equip it. But it takes time to do that, so I don't blame them for not having done so.
Especially having not seen an Edward for this long.
Oh, Baron goes to Twin Harp. And Baron didn't have anything. Oh, that's so gross. Zot into Baron into Twin Harp. None of it so far is required. Gonna check the Odin Throne. That makes a lot of sense. Do that before the Twin Harp for sure.
Makes sense. You're already here. You have enough firepower to get through it.
Yep. All right. Meanwhile, Hart has gotten his hook, or we'll get his hook in just a moment. Afro's already been through that. So that should put us at parity besides now this Baron check, which does put Afro in the lead, especially since Hart had to bounce off of Baron. Bounced off that Wyvern and said, you know what, I'm good, which might really be to his advantage. I don't know. Antlion, not really what we wanted to see in the Odin spot.
And given that we've hit on all but one K main check so far, I think it's reasonable to not even bother.
Yeah, it's seeming more and more likely that K summon is off, or it could be on and there's only like one key item. But what do we even need at this point? We know the rat tail's out there. Wait, has Hart turned that in?
Hart just got the hook, so we'll probably be heading there soon.
Right. I'm here. I think I'm gonna check that now. Grab the hook and then figure it out. Yep.
So if we're on the assumption it's K main only and the pass is just chilling in a shop somewhere, this could be the pan. This could be. I think it would have to be the pan. No, it could be. It could be anything. You're right.
Yeah, we've got Twin Harp or Rat Tail, right? So we've got 2 paths at the moment,
and 2 terminal key items left. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. If you find adamant, do you like forging? Could be Supersmith. I think it's actually more likely to be on than not.
With Heart's Party, no.
Yeah, so speaking of vanilla, that is adamant.
With
I agree, I think I would check.
With Afro's Party, yes.
Just more likely to hit something really good for that party.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because Heart seems to be setting up for mages, which don't benefit as much from Supersmith.
Yeah, I mean, you can get a nice stat stick, but it's kind of whatever. Or you can just get scrap metal, which would be, or no, the most insulting thing to get, I think, would be the Lightbringer.
Oh, wow. Lightbringer with Cecil buried, or not in the seed, I'd be here for that. Or
not in the seed, yeah. It sells for nothing, you can't dart it. Yeah, it's just, yep. Anyway, in the meanwhile, here's some Twin Harp music. Alright, that's required.
Okay, so there's the payoff for going through that whole Zot chain.
Yes, the drama of the seed has had many dips and turns, Heart's in the lead, Vitafra's in the lead, back and forth, kind of, right, on like who's gone where, but, yeah. Oh, and the pass out of Twin Harps. That's a dead end.
That also means now we can confirm Summon or Moon is on.
Yeah, we hit 2 dead ends. We're done with the K-main checks. Pretty interesting. Though there's really only the Pan and Pinktail left, right? So we don't really care about the key items.
The last few key items are completely irrelevant. We have access to every boss location already.
Yeah. But so Heart bounced off of Wyvern at the Baigan spot. And then I mean had the setup to take care of it, but made the very defensible choice of saying, you know what, I don't need the bosses here, hopefully, and I'm just gonna go to the moon instead. And that looked like a great idea all the way through Baron until Twin Harp having the D-Lunars. Now Heart is very much behind. Heart needs this to be 5 of 6 bosses.
It could still be a great idea if Plague is up here, and like you said, it's 5 of 6.
Yeah. It is unlikely, but it is possible.
Actually, I think we can confirm Plague is Hero on the Giant, or I guess, no, we haven't seen Package or Hook 1 yet.
Yeah. Now, Vic does need to do, I keep my brain keeps forgetting this, but Vic does need to do the Luca check. I want to say he's more likely to do it than not, because he's here. We're doing eggs. As our tracker points out in chat.
That is the fastest reset I've seen so far this seed.
Oh, what was that, boss?
Val.
Oh, Val at the Mura spot? Yeah, no thanks.
Lunar Val, I think we saw it on screen for like one frame and Heart just went, nope.
Yeah, Heart, I mean, if we have Kane, it's maybe okay, but still, it's just so annoying. Heart doesn't really have a good melee setup. It's just take forever to chew through that health. Yeah, okay, now... Oh, okay. Alright, Vic says, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do Lucas, so... Now it's kind of equal again. Who knows? Both our runners have faded a vital, important check.
That's...
Oh dear.
These are things that happen sometimes in randomizers.
Yeah, very much so. So, I mean, that's brought the interest back in the race, honestly. Like, now it's going to be about where Plague is, and do we need 5 of 6 objectives? This is mystery, so we don't know. To answer a question about Valvalis, all the spots in the moon are pretty fast, so they have a speed of like 30-ish, which is pretty equal to like Cecil at this point in the game. Edge is a bit faster, so it's actually not the fastest in the world, but with anchoring, so when we have a slow character in the center, we tend to not worry about that, but Val is tricky for other reasons. Val goes into tornado mode and then becomes very evasive. You can't cast spells against her. She gains immunity in many spots. Oh, this is a freebie. This is the Crystal Sword Altar?
This will be a nice chunk of XP.
Yeah, this is just a good chunk of XP. There's really no reason to do this otherwise, but yeah, don't mind. Just got the coffin.
And this will be a nice, nice what, 110,000?
Something like that for a double. More if we had life glitched, which is like a weird quirk where if you cast or use a life potion on a dying enemy, they come back with no health and you just get credit for another kill. It might be off though in this mystery YAML, but it's most likely to be on. But yeah, Val is just difficult for mages to deal with, and Heart does not have a king, and Heart has a lot of mages. He does have an edge, but I don't think his edge has very good equipment. So it would just, Val would just take a lot of time. Dragoon Spear's not it, but that's fine.
I'm just laughing, it's like, we were just talking about having a cane would help with Val, and the game's like, here you go.
That's fair. Yeah, have this Dragoon Spear. Oh, poor Kane. Dragoon Spear's not even that good a weapon. It's amazing against dragons, don't get me wrong. But like, Kane's spears in this game they're crippled by their poor accuracy for many of them, and they don't have the greatest like of offense.
And no strength boost doesn't do them any favors either.
Yeah. Alright, we're at the bottom of the moon for Heart here. Gonna heal up and then got 3 more boss checks right here. We don't care about the key items. Not really.
Well,
I guess Heart doesn't know that. Heart is missing a twin harp, technically.
correct.
So we'll see
And
how much he wants to focus on this key item thing.
I think this is face or free. Like, if Baron Guards show up
Yeah.
here, you 100% take it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Free is just good experience. We need experience. Mylan and Friends, not quite free, and the White Spear Altar is not the best spot for experience. It's worth like an egg, I want to say.
Not worth the time.
No. Ribbon Room can be worth the time. This is a good chunk of experience.
I think
Alright. We're in no mode.
Ribbon was worth the time.
Yeah, it's worth the time. So we're either in go mode or no mode. It's go mode if it's 5 of 6 objectives required. We don't know how many we need. It's no mode, meaning we know where go mode is. If we need all the bosses, because we know where the D-Lunars are. They're behind the Twin Harp. Also, Plague just kind of checking on his neighbor here. Checking on their neighbor, like, hey,
Oh.
what's up?
Well,
Just move to next door.
Oh, well, D-Lunars were on vacation in the Cave Magnus, so Plague was house sitting.
This is also... Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
But say Plague's being a good neighbor today.
Yes, very good neighbor. Not a good neighbor to this party, though. The one maybe kind of spooky thing here is we have that count going. And Sid is very slow. And when Sid is very slow, because of just the weird way that agility works in this game, if you have at least 2 berserk characters going, the game's really not able to process the fact that we need to die at a count of 0. And it looks like we're set up that way, so we're going to be okay here. That count will never go off.
It's going to be a bit trickier on Afros. Yeah, Afros going to need to rearrange the party.
Yeah. You need to be perfectly anchored for this. So Sid is incredibly slow. He's slow enough, basically, that everybody else is acting as fast as possible, including the boss. And that's the only situation where Plague, where the count gets caught in this weird little kind of bug, where it can't go off.
And it's all 6.
We need all 6. I mean, we knew that was likely. So we're in no mode. What now?
I think we're going to see both runners at least face check the rest of the moon.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You're already here.
I was going to say, very likely to see the giant as well. Go ahead.
That's what I was going to say. You're already here. You may as well.
Oh, yeah. Heart doesn't know where D-Lunars are. And V-Tower doesn't know where Demist is, so... And again, to catch anyone up that's stepped in recently, Demist is behind the Luca key, and D-Lunars are behind the Twin Harp, which is behind the Baron key. And our runners chose to fade, both of those spots per person.
Both of which,
I mean,
reasonable fades given what we've seen.
Oh, incredibly reasonable. Yeah. Very well intentioned, gambles. Yeah, if I were either of them, I'd be sweating bullets right now. Fun for us. This is entertaining to me. I don't know what's gonna happen, but trying to find that one boss left, that can leave a runner feeling pretty nervous. Vanilla Ogopogo, no thank you.
No. Most bosses are fine in the vanilla locations. That's not one of them.
No, Ogopogo at the punchiest spot in the game. One of the punchiest spots in the game. No. Alright, Heart needs to check. Heart needs to check. Might need to check Cave Bahamut.
Yeah, we're
gonna check the item shop here. I guess Heart doesn't know that the pass is behind the Twin Harp, and passes could be in a shop.
Which, having not seen one so far, and with P-Shop being an option...
Or how about Succubus and Antidote? Good talk.
That's...
one of the worst shops I've ever seen.
Yeah, yep. The Bunny Shop restocker just didn't show up, apparently.
No, not at all. Alright, Heart's going back to the moon, not to the giant. This could be back to Baron. Yeah, I mean, we're stepping down. There's 2 options here. It's either to Baron, or Heart could check the King-Queen spot down the hook route. We know the Rubicante spot because of the top of tower. That's Golbez. We don't need that. But we don't know who's at the King-Queen spot. Yeah, it is as standard. We figured that out pretty early on, seeing vampires in an overworld shop. And not much better. And we've seen really from the Treasury, the Earth Crystal Treasury, that it is T standard.
That Treasury was garbage.
It was pretty bad. You got You got a Soma drop out of it, really. That was kind of it.
I think we're gonna see a forge. Maybe forge while thinking what you're gonna do next.
Yeah, not a bad idea. If you don't know what to do and you need time to think, give yourself that time to think and do it by going somewhere. Instead of like stopping, which I mean you could, if you really needed to, you could stop, but let your muscle memory take over and then just fly to somewhere or go to somewhere that you know gets you something at least. Package would be another good check for this, right? Like it's a boss check. You're at a point where you kind of need to make some sort of play, and you get a lot of time to think through those package cutscenes. So it makes a lot of sense to me to come here and forge, and just give yourself that time. And also, grab like a life staff, Artemis bow for your troubles, maybe. Grab the life staff, and we'll see what the forge is.
If you're setting up for mages, stat 6 aren't a terrible thing to have.
No, not at all. All right, so it's vanilla forge. That's a dart. That's a reasonable dart for Edge. It's okay. Now the question
I was hoping for the Lightbringer.
Yeah. Again, that would be the worst. Oh, shout out to that like one of two spots that you could accidentally land on. I've never done that. Nope. But where's Heart going next? Yeah, Baron. Okay.
Heart's making the play.
Beautiful. Okay. Heart's gonna get go mode. Meanwhile, Vic is veering off to the giant. That's not going to be it, unfortunately. We know that Luca Cave is where he needs to go. I'm excited to see what's on the giant, though.
I think Vic
interesting.
I think Vic is doing something that we talk about quite a bit, and that's commit to your fades.
Yeah. You've already faded Luca. Now it ends up being awkward, right? Because yes, commit to your fades, but there are scenarios like this one where how long you commit to that fade, it's not so cut and dry. It's just always commit to it because you would have lost if you had done it.
True.
Nobody's done in this race. So there are 6 runners in this race and nobody's done. So you can surmise that everyone else is in kind of a tricky situation, or that, it's not like some instant go mode. You found you found one kind of hidden boss in the D-Mist. Like, how long you make that fade for, I don't think is so cut and dry as always fade it, but it is defensible to do so. Oh, Baigen?
Ew!
Baigen at the element spot? No. Okay, I was entertained, but now I just feel bad. This is not a fun fight.
Do the arms here have more than... I believe the arms here have more than 10,000 HP.
I'm not exactly sure, but we're splitting technically 90 or 100,000 something hit points, right?
I believe you cannot one-shot these arms.
I mean, he certainly doesn't have the power to anyways, except Meteor, but that's kind of a bit of a non-starter here.
And the big guns are coming out here. We're going to see Spoon, we're going to... Strike what I was about to say.
Yeah, so one nuke's gonna go off. This is why this is so horrible. One nuke's gonna go off if we haven't... No, we quaked already. Okay, so after one spell, we put Baigen puts that wall up, so that kind of cuts that strategy out. The other strategy you have is to start jerking up your party members or bouncing nukes off of your own party members. They're both random targeting. You could randomly target the arms instead. It's pretty bad.
I'm not here for an arm grind.
No, not at all. In fact, there are so many bosses here that are difficult but compel you to stay. This is one of them, I think, that you could see and be like, you know what? No,
I'm good.
I'm good. If that one boss at the CPU spot is what I need, well, so be it.
At this point, yeah, I would agree. If you see this, you know everyone's last locationing if it's at CPU.
Yeah, I mean, either choice is defensible. Very defensible to just take this on. It's just, it's not going to work out, and it will feel bad, but hopefully hopefully, it's the kind of thing you can just brush off. You made a choice. It could have been good in some situations. Didn't work out in this one, and that's okay. Alright, so now both arms are down. So the problem, of course, becomes that those arms get revived. They come back to full health. Start chewing the arms down again. They die. They revive at full health.
And we've
Meanwhile,
got the other
punchy
problem.
punch.
And we got the other problem of those walls Vigan has been casting are making it difficult to cure the party.
Yeah. Difficult to cure the party. You need to life people up. But now we've only got 2 people that are standing now and 3 attackers on the enemy side. We're kind of losing tempo here. You can't blink. I would say blink is the best strategy here, by the way. For such a prolonged fight, to make sure that you're not just losing all your party members.
And blink against a melee heavy boss, just the best spell in the game.
Yeah, it really is. We see low health on 2 of our party members here. I mean, this is dangerous. Rose is on life 2 duty.
I think everyone currently standing, well, except the Kane now on Vic's side, is walled.
Well, Fu isn't walled anymore.
That was a true statement when I started.
Yeah, it was. Oh dear. There's also kind of a problem with life 2. It has a delay to it, so it is taking Rosa some time to cast this spell. But I think it is the reasonable one because otherwise the life 1 and then having to cure the party member, at least for like Fusoya, and actually everyone who's super healthy, it makes sense. It's tricky. This might just be enough, though, to slowly get through this boss.
And once
We do need MP restoratives on Fu, though. That's going to be a problem.
And we do see Heart's headed over to the Twin Harp, which we know is going to be go mode and a pass, so direct access to Zeromus afterwards.
Yeah, Zeromus coming pretty quickly. Also, we didn't shout out the song. I was so busy with the fact that the D-Learners were there. Delfino Plaza, was it?
That it was from Super Mario Sunshine.
Real chill. Real good music.
And Cubs rule in chat pointing out you could, in an emergency, bounce a Psych off a party member to get more MP, but that gets back to the Psych takes approximately 1 eternity to cast.
Yeah, Psych with a slow anchor is a very, very slow spell to cast. The game didn't really intend for you to have a slow anchor, and it intended for you to have Cecil as an anchor, so the spells are really more balanced around everybody acting on a more equalized kind of speed system, where everyone's about equal for how often they act. But with Rydia in the middle, everybody's as fast as possible, but it ends up meaning that the spells are as slow as possible. There's other weirdness with like party members acting kind of speeds up the spells, but I don't know, it's all weird. It doesn't matter. We're through.
Anyway, Vigan's gone.
Good job. Not an easy boss at all to fight. That is a great show of mastery there. A very difficult boss. Really well done.
Oh, we'll see what was chilling behind it. I think.
Yeah.
I think all the truly bad bosses are out of the pool, except maybe Dark Imps.
Yeah, a lot of them are gone. Dark Imps would punch hard. Wouldn't be great. I don't know that we've seen Hourglasses either, but I mean, really, it doesn't matter what's here because you'll just want to reset. It's faster to reset and then warp your way back out. Or walk your way back up. It's the guards.
Or in this case, got some coffins. You could get a quick 450 XP.
It is absolutely faster. The XP is defensible, I suppose. I don't know if he's got all the sirens left, but yeah, I don't blame him for And honestly, just take it all back and just roll back to the moon.
That's fair too.
It is fair. You do lose the experience from Bygone, which was a huge chunk, but this does save you a little bit of time.
You also get your spoon back so you can dart it again.
All right, and reprise music, go. All right, the second chat said it, I realized. Okay, first of all, go mode for heart. But yeah, that song was the ending for Super Mario Bros. 3, not Delphino. I have really fond memories. Like, I knew what it was, but I couldn't place it. I have really fond memories as a kid of beating Super Mario Bros. 3.
So the good news for Art Gamer, that's go mode and pass. The question
go mode in
is,
the past. It's right there.
do you crack a few eggs before taking Zeromus?
With this party, yes. You know the eggs are underground. Sorry. You know the sirens are underground. You also know the eggs are underground, I guess. I got there. It's fine. It would be faster, I think, to do that than to muddle through a Foon Friend setup, but Art might just go that way. I don't know. We're thinking. Yeah, we're gonna line the party up.
Oh, looks like we're going for it.
Now at these levels... Oh, okay. We're gonna pick up in the airship. Yeah, okay, decided against it. You could see the thought process there. Though it might have even been, I don't know, maybe ordering for doing eggs. But still, I think you could see the thought process there of like, how do I want to finish? Now this I'm unsure of.
I think Hart may have forgotten where the sirens are.
Okay, maybe. Sirens are in Dwarf Castle. It is very easy. There's so much information to track in this game. It's very easy to forget where those darn things are. Art does have those 5 sirens. That's kind of also where I was like, I'm not sure what's happening here. In that the 5 sirens are probably enough. Given the levels on our party, I don't know for sure.
It's close. I think you need 7-ish.
Oh, is this weapons for Edge? Yeah, he remembered that the ninja swords were
interesting.
Here. Wow, that's clever.
Also, looking at these cell values, I think we've been on... Never mind. We've had no money because the chests have been less than stellar.
Yeah, T-Standard offers a lot of junk that's just not worth a lot of money. It's kind of how it plays out. So, I will say that taking the time to run down here and grab swords, and then run back up, if that's what he chooses to do, and take Zeromus at this level, The sirens, I'm gonna wager, are faster than this. But I really like the thinking. And I also could be wrong. It's certainly safer to go get the sirens, but he might also not remember where they are, like we were saying. Yeah, because we see the item. Oh, no, he remembered. He remembered exactly these ninja swords and those bakas. I think this is a low-level Zerker hybrid kind of situation.
I believe you're right.
Yeah. I do think the Reflect Mage strat is the like slightly better one, and it's certainly the safer one, but you're gonna end up in situations. Oh, and we're gonna take the sirens anyways. Okay, so we're kind of setting up for full safety here, and maybe even just a few more levels. Maybe unsure of what's gonna happen. We'll see where these 5 sirens get us, and then I guess I could talk about where the strategy takes us. Art could save one of these sirens for a Silk Club. That's a good point out. Usually with full Zerkers, you don't care so much about the Silk Web, but we've really only got the one Zerker. Hey, bonus siren. That's a rarity.
And I believe now Hart doesn't have to shop for more.
So Vic has finally found the Demas that's been hiding from him. That's the good news. The bad news is we've cast Berserk. And well, I think he's about to learn a lesson.
It gets very, very chilly if you
what
Berserk against
happens when
Demas.
you do that at a high magic spot. It's not actually the magic's not the important part, though it's actually kind of dangerous. It's at perfect anchoring like this, with Rydia as slow as possible, Demas, and your party is as fast as possible, it is easy to overestimate just how many of those counters are going to come out.
And with 2 Zerkers swinging away, the answer is all of them.
Yeah. Now, the Zerkers are very powerful and we're nuking, so I don't think Demas is going to get another phase here. But that is a bit of a time loss.
We do see Rosa learning white on Hard Gamer's side.
Yeah, that means we're going to be very close for that nuke as well. Hart might not be fully comfortable on like nuke and foo nuke and white, who's not really as reliable, or just might really like hybrid instead. This is kind of a couple ways you can go here.
I saw Meteos, so the kid's at 50.
But kind of regardless, I love that he remembered this pretty niche memory, right, of like where the ninja swords and Bakas were. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
Now Hart is grabbing a big pile of experience on Sid. I think Sid only has the Dwarf Axe.
Yeah, I don't think I saw Curse Ring anywhere, so
It's okay.
Ed should still be RA1.
Yeah, the anchoring is much more important with Zerkers because, and even then, like if you've got like 3 Zerkers, it's less of a problem. If you've only got the 1 Zerker, the anchoring is a bit more important. But with mages are all kind of slow and act around the same time, and it just the way it plays out. We learned this really through Sea Hero. The way it plays out is that the anchoring, so long as you have somebody slow in the center, slower, or even about the same speed as your other mages, you still can get through Reflect strats with roughly the same strategy. So it should be okay. Where it could go wrong is if something goes wrong in the fight and we have to recover, then Zeromus is going to be much faster than expected. And that could be tricky. Now, if Sid is RA0, which chat's pointing out, then we probably have a Cursed Ring, right? RA0 is fine. RA0, or Agility 0, just means that Sid is as fast as everyone else. And I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, zero agility is fun things. I think there's a divide by zero that's attempted at some point.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, it ends up at zero agility. That's the only way to get zero agility is to have exactly zero agility. So you've been taken. So that must be a cursed ring plus the dwarf axe. It's minus 20. Sid must have 20 agility.
Would make sense.
There. I'm talking, but I see some Z flags.
Yeah, both our runners are heading to Zeromus to fight the big bad guy.
This is looking pretty close. Oh,
I think there's. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, big bad of the seed. We don't randomize where he is. It just no. You don't want big bangs in other locations. Plus, it's more fun. It's more fun to have Zeromus here, and we randomize the sprite instead of Zeromus himself. So I'll let you ask the question, Dave.
Yep, the last question of seed is whose butt are we about to kick tonight?
Is it cute? Is it creepy? Does it have a butt? Are there multiple butts? There's so many questions that we have we have a sprite dedicated to the questions that we can ask
there
her.
And
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Kool-Aid Man literally breaking through space to get to this fight.
So, butt is refreshing, I guess.
Yes, refreshing, a little bit oversweetened, but very, very refreshing. But also creepy. Like, can we talk about the fact that Kool-Aid Man is like, this is you just put this in the right context, and this is horror. At least it is to me. Look at that face.
The face is definitely a thing.
I'll have to ask Scholar, or maybe chat knows this. So Scholar is our resident art dev, has done the vast majority of our, I don't know, near 500 at this point sprites. Actually, I think it's over that. This has been sourced from somewhere, probably. I would love to know from where. So she does do also a number of sprites that are purely her own, but a lot of them are sourced and then, you know, kind of worked from some sort of source.
Yeah, there's probably some. This is a very clean sprite. It might be from a later SNES game. I don't know if there's probably some licensed game.
Yeah, there's only really only 1, 2, 3, 4 colors. The color palette's very limited on Super Nintendo, so there is a lot of tricky work done to match sprites to SNES colors. That's part of it, but meanwhile, Thinking Heart's gone for a hybrid strategy here. Vic has a slightly trickier time with this fight, has less levels, but still pretty okay. We'll know if we're in trouble or not with this fight when the second Big Bang comes out. The timing of nerfing that Big Bang, nerfing meaning Zeromus' script works such that actually we're at Black Hole already. It's another that's come out already. Black Hole is another tricky part because we lose the Berserk status in anyone that's acting, depending on how many Bacchus Vic has.
I know Vic has had 4 at one point.
You know, there are a couple points where you really start to lose the fight, and it's a Big Bang that kills too many party members, or it's a Black Hole that comes out into a Big Bang queued up already. Rosa doesn't have full health. Who might survive this? We're not going to nerf this. We don't have time.
Yeah, Rosa's down.
Rosa's just dead. Who lives?
Ed's got a bit high rolled there.
Edge got high rolled though, yes. Tricky. And Fu is bouncing a nuke. That's a bit... We're in trouble. That Fu turn, I think, needed to be recovery.
And I
We're
believe...
not done, though.
I believe Afro is out of Bacchus wine, so...
But yeah, okay, so we're in phase 2, and Fu is the target, lost that 50-50.
That's really bad, because Fu had an elixir queued up.
That's honestly, we're done. Fu's gonna get picked up, Big Bang's gonna get queued. We might have time to cure 4. I think it's what he has to do, and survive.
Yep.
Actually, we haven't had the shake yet. That's kind of surprising. Might be at a pretty good battle speed for this.
I think there's a short delay between the nuke and the shake. I think it's an extra wait turn.
Yeah, but see how fast this came out? And the Cure 4 wasn't strong enough because Fu's really not the best endgame white mage. And we're done.
That's
unfortunate. This fight can run away from you very, very easily. Happens to the best of us. And yeah, as Chad is pointing out,
oh yeah, because it came after the nuke. That was the 9 roll.
Yeah, so Big Bang has different strengths to it depending on the phase of the fight, and at that phase of the fight, it's at its strongest. 9 roll being 9 rolls of damage.
Right, and Big Bang does 200 to 300 damage per roll before taking into account magic defense. So the math says, ouch.
Yes. Now the way to mitigate that, when you get time for yourself, is to nerf, which, to explain that briefly, the way the script works, okay, we're at rocks. Okay, good. Heart is through. BDO doesn't do a lot of damage here. When you're nerfing, Zoroma sets their magic power for different things they're going to cast, including Big Bang. And Nuke is set at a very low magic power, which is the counter to any magic you cast at it. And if you time it right, that number doesn't get reset, so you get a weaker Big Bang from it. And all right, Heart is done. Heart is through.
Yes, GG's to Heart getting through that.
Yeah, big GG's to Heart. Now Heart does come in second place. We had a first place finisher that is Dubbard, the time of 1:26:21. Big GG's to him. Heart is our winner on Restream and also second place. Very, very well done. And we'll get Heart in for an interview in just a moment.
And we're joined by
now. Hello. Hi, Heart. And GG's.
Thank you.
So, I'm going to start with, how do you feel about Vanilla Fu?
That was amazing. Oh my god. I wouldn't have done half of the stuff I did early on if I didn't have Vanilla Fu.
Yeah, talk us through that. How did he guide you through, your early game?
So once I saw that, like the first 3 items were towards underground, I'm like, I'm gonna take a chance, at least get the free key item, just check some of the bosses down there. And with having full-on Fu, I was like, maybe I'll be able to take things on, maybe I won't. And then it was King, Queen, Evelyn at Dwarf. Okay, not bad. Into, I don't remember who it was, but I was able to get through that. And then Luca being required for D-Mist was kind of nice. And Waterfall I wasn't too worried about. That was being double required was amazing.
Right.
So, yeah, getting some achievement or objectives done so quickly, I was like, oh, this is making things really easy.
Yeah, it was sort of looking possibly jetty for a moment. I mean, you never really know, but yeah, that early game decision making made a lot of sense to me. I think it was really heads up to realize that you could go essentially out of order, and have the power to do it. And I think it paid out for you because you were incentivized really to do that Luca check. Because like the later you go, right, the more likely you might want to fade that, and Vic did end up fading Luca, which is probably the deciding point between the two of you.
Yeah, If it was warp glitch was on, that might have been a little more of a factor, but with it off, I'm like, I might as well just check. Worst case, it's not a key item I need, and it's not a boss I need. It was a boss I needed.
Yep, makes sense. Now, okay, we're getting the next one I want to ask about is what was on your mind once that wyvern situation showed up.
So I'm like, oh, wyvern, maybe it's witchburn. Nope, mega nuke. Okay, nope, we're just gonna leave him for now. Nope. I probably could have just changed it to battle speed, wyvern speed, but I'm like, I have other checks I could do. It's only gating 2 checks right now. I think I can hold off for the time being.
Yeah, very defensible. Yeah, that's basically how we called it. I would have likely. I'm not sure exactly what I would have done, but I think either decision makes sense. But then you ended up deciding to go back to it, and you hadn't really cleared everything else. So I guess what guided you back to that check?
So I accidentally went back to the Blue Earth. I meant to go over and check Bahamut cave value. So when I went back, I'm like, all right, fine. I'm going to just commit to the bit. Oh, it was Yang. Okay. But I was like, I'm going to commit to the bit. I'm going to just stick down here, get the stuff I need, check the bosses. If that's where my D-Lunars are, then that's where my D-Lunars are. I was hoping they weren't on the giant, but I was like, if they were on there, then they were there.
Do you want to know what was on the giant?
What?
Baigan.
Oh. No, thank you.
The second half was free. The problem is you have to buy it first.
It was guards. Free is in major air quotes, but yes.
I mean, I had coffins. If I could have got them off them, they would have been free.
Yeah. But yeah, you know what? Great use of making taking a little bit of an oopsie and being like, yeah, I'll just roll with it.
Yeah,
perfect.
I also needed to go back to the Blue Earth because I saw the ninja swords, and having Edge run the full moon middle sword wasn't exactly doing it for me. I wanted those ninja swords at least. I just couldn't remember where I saw them. That's why I kept going to random shops once I hit the Earth.
Oh, I see. You checked a couple of others. I mean, once you ran underground, it looked like you knew exactly were those swords were. And the Bacchus ended up down there too.
Yeah, once I realized that they weren't at some of the Overworld shops, I'm like, yeah, they're underground for sure. So, yeah, and that's also kind of why I checked for Supersmith potentially. Is like, hey, I'm on the Blue Earth. I'll commit to this bit. If no one else will, I will.
Yeah, and we were joking it could have been Lightbringer. Just we always wish for the worst things, right?
I mean, Excal, at least I could guard it, but
yeah, Excal is actually useful. But yeah, I mean, overall, GG's. That's about it for me for questions. Dave, how about you?
I think you've covered pretty much the entire seed.
All right, then. Any last words for us, Hart?
Again, thank you for restreaming. Thank you, Engie Dave and Solaris for the commentary. Thank you, Asuka, for restreaming, and Esgrunt for tracking. I do appreciate it. It's always I really enjoy Pink Puff, so it's always kind of fun, and I had a lot of fun. Mystery is one of those that I can either like or hate. I do have a question though. What is item duping on?
I don't know.
We don't think it was. I don't think Vic checked it.
Okay, because I tried, but I think I butchered it. So I wasn't sure if it was on or not.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and see. I know I was watching you, and it wasn't exactly correct, but there's 2 ways of duping that ends up happening. You could have ended up having exactly 2 copies of the boomerang.
I think the answer is no, because that should have led to 2 boomerangs the way it was done.
Yeah, I think so too. But I'm not exactly sure, but I think so too. So I don't think it was on.
Okay. Well, other than that, nothing really.
Yeah, good job getting through this mystery seed.
Thank you.
Mystery can be a bit of a beast, but yeah, well done. Oh, Asuka just confirming.
Asuka just spoiled it. So just for the mystery seats, it was. As was the MP
was.
glitch.
Ah, darn it. Well, I just gotta practice it more.
Yeah. There's a great guide from Inven, I think, in our guides section.
Mhm.
I always forget too, right? Like I learn it and then time passes and I'm like, wait, how do we do that again? MP glitch is at least simple, at least for me. Like you click on one spell, you click on another, and then you kind of tap back and A at the same time. And then you do it a bunch, and then you do it like a million times because it like takes a while.
Yeah.
But if like they both if you get the sound, the and like both arrows disappear at the same time, you know it's off.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess we'll let you go then. GG's
Alrighty.
again.
Yes, thank you.
Bye now.
Bye.
Alright, and that was Hart, our second place finisher and winner in this restream match. Very well done by him.
And we do see that Afro was on rocks this time, and that's your crack bang.
And there we go. Bit of a tricky one, but Vic is through, finishing with a time of 1 hour, 48 minutes, and 6 seconds in third place out of 6. Big GG's. Very well done. And we'll see if he'll be in for an interview. I love how the wall that Kool-Aid Man broke through is also falling through space.
So the rift Kool-Aid Man opening reality just crumbles with Kool-Aid Man.
Yes, it does. Alright, and the official flag set has been posted in our Twitch chat for our YouTube.
Yep.
Folks, I will say the dupe for items and MP was on. What else do we want to talk about here?
It was case summon.
Spoon flag was on, case summon was on. C relaxed, Neki, no dupes. It was T standard, we figured that one out. Max tier 7, which is never going to come up in T standard.
So that means our Cecil was on the Giant.
Yeah, so it was C relaxed with no restriction on how many characters. So yeah, Cecil Giant, yeah, was the last.
I think it's the only character spot we didn't see.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't see the Hook Rock character either, so Cecil could have been hiding there.
Yeah, and Vic is on the way. He's just Discord's. You know, Discord's being Discord. But we'll get that interview in a moment. Yeah, 6 objectives. We know it was required 6. K-main summon. Pass is a key item. It could roll multiple, so pass wasn't like in a shop or anything, or in a chest. All right, and there we are. GG's. GG's to you, Vic.
Thanks. That was... I just feel silly. Z did not go well, as everyone saw.
Yeah, Z can be just such a tricky thing to fight. Really,
Honestly,
the best of us can get run over by that boss very quickly.
The issue is warp.
Warp?
I put warp in my top slot
Oh.
to get out of the last spot I went, because obviously second to last located demist. The last spot I had left was hook route number 1. That was the only spot I didn't check.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel good. I thought I ran that race pretty well considering how many things I checked.
Oh yeah, you ran that race great. Fading Luca incredibly defensible. Everything really was on, or all the odds were really on the moon because it's just 8 bosses up there. You're only looking for bosses at that moment. I think the main thing that guided Hart towards Luca really was that Hart decided to do underground very early because of that earlier Fusoya power.
Yes. Okay.
And so clearing up, checks down there became, I would say, more enticing, most likely. But then for that reason, Hart had incentive to fade Baron after Wyvern went a little bad for a moment. So the two of you were really...
Wyvern.
Yeah.
Did everyone wipe at Wyvern? Because
the two of you saw that wyvern, took just a half second to think about what to do, and that's just long enough for wyvern to ruin your day.
I don't know. Can you get that off with battle speed 1?
You can, but you have to do it very quickly, and
Okay,
so like
you
it makes a
have
lot
to
of sense
immediately do it.
to not do
Okay.
it. You have to immediately get into your item menu and use the Star Veil, or you can do a run buffer. Run buffering does need.
I have not learned that yet.
Yeah, it needs some practice to do it. Otherwise, it's not very useful because if it's not done correctly, it kind of ends up working against you. And I don't think people need to learn run buffering to play this game very well. So, yeah, the strategy would be to get into your item menu immediately and then use that veil. And that would be a way through. It's not guaranteed. But then otherwise, I think what you did was very smart, was just go back, go to battle speed 6.
I mean, it kind of hurts that I did do the giant, and then,
Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions. I mean, well done, like, getting through that fight. That is one of the hardest fights for that party you had the game could have possibly given you.
yeah, it's not fun.
No,
Although,
you got through it.
honestly, I don't mind that. I don't like turtle. Turtle at elements is probably my least favorite enemy there.
I don't like that one there either. That one has stymied me multiple times.
Yeah. What were the flags?
Yeah. So, Dupe Glitch was on, MP Glitch was on. You had T Standard, Sparse 80, came in, Summon were on. We'll post the full flag set, probably in spoilers.
Okay, yeah, no.
I think I posted somewhere, but yeah, just talking them out.
I didn't even try Dupe. I didn't try. I should have tried MP Glitch. Now that I know.
Yeah, I mean, for mystery in general. Okay, yeah. So Asuka is saying it is in the spoilers channel in Discord. So you can go there and see. Yeah,
Okay.
when playing mystery, when Dupe and when Dupe and MP can be on, it's a good idea to learn to practice those things. But I would also say because it's Pink Puff, right? You get introduced to so many different options of ways to play that if you don't think you're going to play mystery very often, it's one of those things you don't really need to learn it. You could probably go about your day. But if you're interested,
I did like the early foo. I was like, ooh, vanilla foo. Go,
I was going to ask how you felt about that. Yeah.
Go.
That was a lot of fun to
Foo?
watch. Yeah.
I could ask somebody else. I think you could probably beat the game with those 2 characters. And that's it. That's your party. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You could. Tricky, right? Tricky because of anchoring
Agility.
and...
Well,
because of
you
agility.
anchor with foo.
Yep. And a little tricky getting through Zeronis, but people do like solo challenges in this game.
I've heard of
So,
solo porum.
Uh,
I've heard it's been done.
Possum's got a story about that. I think it involves being level 80 something. But
Ouch. Good stuff. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course.
GG to everybody else. Z fights go south, and I don't know. I felt like I did well, and you have a bad Z fight, and it kind of puts some yellow in your nice little run.
And I think that's the right mindset to have. Of you made good choices, they just didn't happen to work out for you this seed. And lesson learned about Zeronis, or any situation that comes up like that, right? You'll be better equipped in the future, I would say.
The first fight and the third fight were almost the same, and I probably just got luckier with where Nuke went. The RNG went better the third time, technically.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, the black hole phase in particular can really kind of screw things up. But yeah, I mean, you got through it. Well done.
Right, well, thanks.
Yeah, of course. Dave, did you have any other questions?
Oh, I have. Yeah. And GG's on running that. I don't think I have any other questions.
Was there a Cecil?
Oh, he has to be on the giant. So
Giant or
the
hook route?
characters. Oh yeah, or hook route. Yeah. So the character settings, all the characters are on the seed. It's just a question of where. So yeah, he had to be hook route or giant. We didn't see either.
Yeah, there was no reason to do the hook.
No.
No. That was literally going to be my last check.
Yep. Don't blame me.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for hosting, and thanks
of
to
course.
everybody watching. Maybe a little bit stupid. Yay, pink puffs.
Oh no, I have the habit of beating myself up, so I kind of get it. But I think I'm obligated to say try not to feel too bad, right? It was very entertaining. You make good decisions. Just go. We'll let you go and just brush it off.
Yeah, just demonstrate. Last occasion like that comes for all of us.
It sure does.
All right. Well, I'm gonna jump off. Thanks, guys.
Okay, all right. Thanks so much. Have a good one. All right. Wow, that was quite the scene, Dave.
That would look like it would have been a fun scene to play.
Yeah, I think that looked like a fun one. That was a great example of mystery, right? Like, when do you see Vanilla Fusoya, Duplich, we didn't see it in the race, but Duplich was on, and Piglich was on. I mean, which I guess sounds sort of supermarket sweepish, but even if they were off, because that's how it ended up showing up, right? So how often do you see, like, Vanilla Fusoya, Boss Hunts, T Standard, like, just all these interesting things that lined up like that?
Nowhere outside of Mysteries, because I don't think we've seen any flag sets created with that combo.
Yeah, we don't tend to do that because we try to craft, balanced flag sets, right? And Mystery kind of laughs in the face of good intentions. The best we could do with Mystery instead is to weight it such that you're most likely to have a seed that is at, the power level that you want. And I think Asuka's crafted a pretty good YAML here for that. But hey, yeah, that's it for us.
Yep. And today we are going to be heading over to RPG Limit Break, where there is a Final Fantasy IX race going on. They are still at the beginning part of the game, only an hour 20 minutes in. Hour 27.
Race? Oh, that's great. I love that speedrun. It's like 9 hours or something like
that.
It's super
I checked it out.
Time.
I checked it out. The projected time is 9 hours 15 minutes. They are just on their way to Lindblom as we speak.
Yeah, and the community that runs that, I've ended up liking those runners quite a bit. They make it fun to watch, right? So we're heading over, questing for Glory 5. Go enjoy your time over there. I would say no spoilers, but you know what? It's such a big race. Like, I don't think they're going to be too interested in
exactly
a freeing race at the moment.
Make sure we do have our community race tomorrow night at 10 Eastern on Free Enterprise 2.
That's right. What is the flag set?
Twibble Gauntlet again.
Okay, yeah. So going a little blast from the past there. So that is a good tournament flag set. Good time. Come check it out. But anyway, yeah. That's it for us. Have a good one.